Happy 5th birthday, Daddy! Love, Emma! So I asked my husband, who is Emma?
His face went white.
He had a whole secret family for 5 years. So I made sure he lost everything. And Reddit, I need to know, did I go too far?
I found a pink birthday card in my husband's car. It said, "Happy 5th birthday, Daddy. I love you to the moon. Love, Emma." We don't have kids. We've been trying for 7 years. So I looked at my husband and I asked him, "Jake, who is Emma?" The way his face went white, I knew. Right there. I knew my entire marriage was a lie. This is how I discovered my husband's secret family and how I destroyed his entire life in 10 days. Hey everyone. I never thought I'd be one of those people sharing their life on Reddit, but I genuinely need to know, am I the asshole? Because right now half my family thinks I'm a hero and the other half thinks I'm a monster who went too far. My name is Sarah. I'm 34 years old, and up until 3 months ago, I thought I had the perfect marriage. My husband, let's call him Jake, and I met in college. We were that couple, you know. The one everyone was jealous of. He'd surprise me with flowers on random Tuesdays. We'd stay up all night talking about our dreams. He wanted to build his own consulting business. I wanted to be a pediatric nurse. We supported each other through everything. We got married 8 years ago in this beautiful outdoor ceremony. I remember looking into his eyes as we said our vows, and I genuinely believed we'd grow old together. I believed every word he said. Forever, he promised. You're my everything. The only shadow over our perfect life. We couldn't have kids. We'd been trying for 7 years. Doctors said there was no medical reason. It just wasn't happening. Every negative pregnancy test broke my heart a little more. Jake would hold me while I cried, telling me we'd keep trying, that our family would happen when it was meant to. He was so supportive, so loving, so there. God, I was such an idiot. It was a Saturday morning in July, one of those perfect summer days where everything feels right with the world. Jake had gone to the gym early. Something he'd been doing a lot lately, but I didn't think anything of it. He was trying to get healthier, he said. For us. For our future family. I was going to surprise him by detailing his car. He'd been working so hard with his business, I wanted to do something nice. So I grabbed the vacuum and headed to the garage. That's when I found it. It was wedged between the passenger seat and the center console. A pink envelope. The kind you'd get at a party store. I almost threw it away without looking, but something made me open it. The card had a cartoon unicorn on the front. Inside, in a child's handwriting, "Happy birthday, Daddy. I love you to the moon. Love, Emma, age 5. I stood there in our garage holding this card and my brain just stopped working. Emma, 5 years old. We don't have kids. We don't know any kids named Emma. Jake's brother has boys. My sister doesn't have kids yet. Who the hell is Emma? I'll never forget what happened next. His face, it was like watching someone's soul leave their body. All the color drained. His smile froze. His eyes went wide with pure panic. Where did you find that? Not who's Emma. Not let me explain. Just where did you find that? And that's when I knew. I knew before he said anything. I knew before he tried to lie. My husband had been living a double life. It's not what you think, he said. The most cliché line in the history of cheating husbands. Then what is it, Jake? Who is Emma? He sat down at the kitchen table, head in his hands. For a long moment, he said nothing. The silence was unbearable. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something. Instead, I just stood there waiting for my world to end. She's my daughter, he finally whispered. I actually laughed. Like genuinely laughed. Because it was so absurd. Your daughter. We don't have a daughter, Jake. We don't have any children, remember. 7 years of trying. 7 years of negative tests and doctor appointments and me crying myself to sleep. With someone else, he said, not looking at me. Emma is my daughter with someone else. The room started spinning. I grabbed the counter to steady myself. How long? My voice didn't even sound like mine. 5 years. She just turned 5. The math hit me like a truck. 5 years. He'd gotten another woman pregnant 5 years ago. We'd been married for 3 years at that point. 3 years into our marriage, well, I was begging doctors to help us have a baby. My husband was creating a family with someone else. Who is she? I asked. Her name is Jessica. We met at a conference in Riverside. It was supposed to be a one-time thing, Sarah, I swear. A mistake. But then she got pregnant, and you just what? Started playing house with her. It's not like that. Then what is it like, Jake? I was screaming now. 8 years together and I'd never raised my voice at him. Explain to me how you have a 5-year-old daughter that I knew nothing about. He started crying. Actually crying. I didn't know what to do. When Jessica told me she was pregnant, we were trying for a baby. You were so desperate to be a mom. I couldn't tell you I'd gotten someone else pregnant. It would have destroyed you. So you just lied for 5 years instead? I thought I could manage both. I thought I could keep everyone happy. Both. My blood ran cold. Jake, what do you mean both? That's when he told me everything. He'd been living with them. Not full-time, but regularly. Those business trips to Riverside. He was staying with Jessica and Emma. Those late nights at the office. He was at their house putting Emma to bed. The gym, every Saturday morning. He was having breakfast with his other family. He had a whole other life. Birthday parties I knew nothing about. A house I'd never seen. School drop-offs. Bedtime stories. Dance recitals. While I was taking fertility, drugs, and tracking ovulation and falling apart every month when my period came, he was watching his daughter grow up with someone else. I should have kicked him out right then. I should have called a lawyer. Instead, I did something crazy. I told him to leave for the night, told him I needed space to think. He went to a hotel, or so he said. Probably went to Riverside to warn Jessica. The second he left, I became a detective. I went through everything. His laptop, his phone records credit card statements. I created a spreadsheet. I'm a pediatric nurse. I'm good at organizing information. And what I found, it was so much worse than I'd imagined. He'd bought them a house. A 4-bedroom house in a nice neighborhood in Riverside. Our money, the money we'd been saving for our future family, had bought his secret family a home. He'd opened credit cards I didn't know about. Thousands of dollars in debt for furniture, toys, clothes, family vacations. There were photos. So many photos. Jake and Jessica at the beach. Jake teaching Emma to ride a bike. Jake and Emma at Disneyland wearing matching Mickey ears. We'd never been to Disneyland. He always said we should wait until we had kids. I found texts between them. Thousands of texts. Jessica would send him photos. Emma misses you. When are you coming home? She asked why you can't be here every day. And his responses. Soon, baby. I promise. Tell her Daddy loves her. I wish I could be there all the time. There was romance there. Real romance. The kind we used to have. He'd call her my love. He'd send her good morning texts. He'd tell her she was beautiful. When was the last time he'd called me beautiful? I found receipts for jewelry. For the past 2 anniversaries he'd given me. Modest gifts, monies. Tight with the business, he'd said. But he'd bought Jessica a $3,000 diamond necklace last Christmas. The worst part. I found a video from Emma's 3rd birthday party. Jake was there holding her on his lap as she blew out candles. Everyone was singing. Jessica's family was there. They all knew about Jake. They all accepted him. At the end of the video, Emma looked up at Jake and said, "I love you, Daddy." And he said, "I love you too, sweetheart." More than anything in the world. More than anything, not me, not our marriage. His secret daughter. She was his everything. I cried so hard I threw up. Then I called my sister. My sister Rebecca is a divorce attorney. Not just any divorce attorney, she's a shark. She's the lawyer you hire when you want to absolutely destroy your ex-spouse. I told her everything. By the time I finished, she was silent for a long moment. Sarah, she finally said, I'm so sorry. But listen to me carefully. Do not confront him again. Do not tip him off. We're going to handle this legally. And we're going to make sure you get everything you're entitled to. Can you hold it together for a few more days? I could, because alongside the heartbreak and betrayal, something else was growing inside me: rage. For the next week, I played the perfect wife. Jake came home apologetic and nervous. I told him I needed time to process, but that I still loved him. That we'd figure it out together. He believed me. Of course he did. I'd believed him for 5 years. Meanwhile, Rebecca was building a case. We gathered every piece of evidence. Bank statements showing financial infidelity. Texts proving adultery. Photos establishing his second family. We found out that Jake had been using our joint accounts to fund his double life. Technically, that's theft in our state. We also discovered something interesting. Jake had told Jessica that he was divorced from me. He'd told her we'd split up years ago but stayed business partners. Jessica had no idea she was the other woman. She thought she was his girlfriend, his partner, the mother of his child. She had no idea he came home to me every night. That we shared a bed. That we were still trying for a baby, even while Emma was growing up. This is fraud, Rebecca said, excitement in her voice. Financial fraud, emotional manipulation, potentially even bigamy. If he'd been presenting himself as her husband, Sarah, we can destroy him. Good, I said. I want him destroyed. We filed for divorce on a Friday afternoon. Jake was served papers at his office in front of his colleagues and clients. Rebecca made sure of that. But we didn't stop there. See Jake's consulting business. It was technically a joint marital asset since we'd used our joint savings to start it. And since he'd been using business accounts for personal expenses related to his affair, we had grounds for a forensic audit. We froze all joint accounts. His personal account too, since it had been funded with marital money. Overnight, Jake went from comfortable to broke. But here's where I might have gone too far. And this is why I'm asking if I'm the asshole. I contacted Jessica. I sent her everything. Photos of our wedding. Recent pictures of us together. Receipts showing Jake had been using business trip money to visit her. Text messages where he called me my wife to friends. I included a message, Hi Jessica. My name is Sarah. I'm Jake's wife. We've been married for 8 years. We live together. We share a bed. We've been trying to have a baby for 7 years. I found out about you and Emma last week. I thought you should know that you're not his girlfriend. You're his mistress. And I'm taking everything. She called me that night sobbing. She had no idea. She thought he was divorced. He'd shown her fake papers. He'd told her I was bitter and vindictive. That we only stayed in contact for business reasons. She was as much a victim as I was. But I didn't care. I needed her to understand what he'd done. What he'd taken from me. Then I did something worse. I called Jake's parents. His perfect conservative, family values parents who'd always treated me like a daughter. I told them everything. I sent them the evidence. They disowned him within 24 hours. I contacted his biggest clients and informed them that Jake was under investigation. For fraud, technically true, the forensic audit, 3 of them dropped him immediately. His business partner, his best friend since college, I sent him everything to. They dissolved their partnership within a week. In 10 days, I systematically destroyed Jake's entire life. He lost his business. He lost his parents. He lost his best friend. He lost his home. I got the house and the divorce filing. His reputation was in tatters. And the money he'd been sending to support Jessica and Emma, that stopped too because all his accounts were frozen. Pending the divorce proceedings, he called me begging. Sarah, please, I know I hurt you. I know I destroyed us. But Emma, she's an innocent child. Jessica can't afford their house without my support. They'll lose everything. Like you made me lose everything. I said calmly. For 5 years you stole my money, my time, my chance at motherhood. You gave another woman the family I was desperate for. So yes, Jake, they're going to lose everything. Just like I did. That was 2 months ago. The divorce is almost final. I'm getting the house, the car, and 70% of our joint assets. Jake has to pay me spousal support despite his current financial situation. His business is bankrupt. He's living in a studio apartment and working at a call center to make ends meet. Jessica and Emma had to move in with Jessica's parents. Jake barely sees Emma anymore because he can't afford the gas to drive to Riverside. His parents won't speak to him. His former business partner won't return his calls. His reputation in our industry is destroyed. I made sure everyone knew what he did. Here's where I'm asking AITA. Because Rebecca says I did what I needed to do. My friends say he deserved it. But some family members are saying I went too far. They say Emma is innocent and shouldn't suffer. Jessica didn't know the truth and didn't deserve this. Destroying his business hurt more than just him. I was vindictive and cruel. Revenge isn't justice. My mother called me last week and said, "Honey, I know you're hurt, but you've become someone I don't recognize. This isn't you." And maybe she's right. Maybe I've become the villain in this story. But here's what I keep coming back to for 5 years. Well, I was breaking down crying over negative pregnancy tests. My husband was tucking his daughter into bed while I was pumping my body full of hormones and fertility drugs, making myself sick. Trying to give him a child, he already had one. He stole 5 years of my life. He stole my chance at motherhood in my prime childbearing years. He stole hundreds of thousands of dollars. He stole my trust, my love, my future. So yes, I took everything from him. His money, his business, his reputation, his family relationships. I made sure he lost it all. But now late at night, I think about Emma, a 5-year-old girl who didn't ask for any of this, who just wanted her daddy and now barely sees him because I made sure he couldn't afford to. I think about Jessica, who was lied to just like I was, and who's now struggling financially because of my actions. I think about Jake's parents who lost their son because I couldn't keep this private. Reddit, I'm asking you genuinely, am I the asshole? Because here's the thing, I haven't told anyone yet. Not Rebecca, not my friends, not even my sister. 2 weeks ago I got a call from my doctor. Remember all those fertility treatments? The hormones? The procedures? Turns out one of them worked. I'm pregnant. And I have no idea what to do with that information. So Reddit, tell me in the comments. Because I genuinely don't know anymore. Part 2 of this story is coming soon because things are about to get a lot more complicated. Subscribe so you don't miss the update. Trust me, you'll want to hear what happens next.